Hello and welcome back to Speechalingo. I'm Charlie, and as always, I am joined by my fantastic co-host, Rayleigh, ready to dive deep into a topic that causes frustration for so many English learners.
Hi, everyone. We are so thrilled you tuned in today. Charlie, you are absolutely right. The topic we're tackling today is often cited as one of the biggest roadblocks on the journey to fluency, especially for those moving from the B1 level up to B2. We are talking about the notoriously tricky yet incredibly essential phrasal verbs.
Phrasal verbs. Just saying the name makes some students tremble. They are those combinations of a main verb and a particle, a preposition or an adverb, that suddenly change the meaning of the original verb completely. Think of look versus look up, or get versus get along. The meaning shift can feel random and overwhelming.
Exactly. And the reason they are so important is that native speakers use them constantly. If you want to sound natural, if you want to understand casual conversation, movies, or podcasts, you simply must master phrasal verbs. They are the backbone of informal, everyday English. Our goal today is not to memorize thousands, but to master the top 15 or 20 that you will hear and need every single day.
We've structured this episode, just like our previous lessons, to be practical. We will introduce the verbs, explain their meanings, and then immediately put them into context with short dialogues. This way you can practice shadowing and hear exactly how they are used naturally. Today we are focusing on three main categories: daily routines, social interactions, and work/study.
That's right. Let's start with Chapter 1, Phrasal Verbs for Daily Routines and Morning Life. These are the verbs that describe what you do from the moment you open your eyes until you leave the house. Mastering these means you can talk about your day every day.
Let's begin with the classics, the difference between wake up and get up. This is a small but important distinction. Rayleigh, could you clarify that for us?
Certainly. To wake up means to stop sleeping. It's the moment you become conscious. For example, I usually wake up at 6:30 a.m. when my alarm goes off, but I don't move.
And then to get up means to physically leave your bed. So you might wake up at 6:30, but you get up at 7 a.m.
Perfect. Let's model that difference in a short exchange.
Hey, Rayleigh, what time do you typically wake up on Saturdays?
I wake up around 8 a.m., but I don't get up until 9 a.m. I like to stay in bed and read.
Oh, that sounds lovely. I wake up early even on weekends, but I try not to get up until I've checked the news. See how we used both? The distinction is clear when you use them together. Moving on to preparing for the day, we have the pair put on and take off. These are transitive, meaning they require an object, and they are separable, which is a key concept in phrasal verbs.
Put on means to place clothing or accessories onto your body. Take off is the opposite, to remove them. For example, I need to put on my coat before I go out, or please take off your muddy shoes before entering the house.
Let's talk about separability for a moment, because this is where many B1 students get confused. You can say, I put on my shoes, or I put my shoes on. If the object is a pronoun, like it or them, you must separate the verb and particle. You must say, I put them on. You cannot say, I put on them.
That is a crucial grammar point for B2 fluency. Let's practice separation. Charlie, it looks cold outside. Are you going to put on your new sweater?
I already put it on. It's so warm.
Oh, great. When you get home later today, please remember to take off your rings before washing the dishes.
I'll remember to take them off. Thanks for the reminder. Next, let's consider a verb often used when talking about habits or continuing an activity. Keep on. This simply means to continue doing something. It is followed by the gerund form of the verb.
This is highly useful for motivation or describing persistence. For example, even though the work was difficult, she decided to keep on studying for the exam. Or the music was so loud, but the neighbors just kept on dancing.
Excellent. In the context of a daily routine dialogue, we might use it like this.
I am trying to eat healthier, but it is hard to keep on track when I see cake.
I know, but if you keep on bringing healthy lunches to work, eventually it will become a habit. You just have to keep on trying.
Excellent. Finally, for this section on routines, let's introduce a phrasal verb that focuses on the future and anticipation. Look forward to. This means to feel pleasure because you're expecting something to happen. Crucially, it must be followed by a noun or a gerund, ing form.
This verb is essential for expressing enthusiasm. You will often hear it used in professional emails when closing, "I look forward to hearing from you soon." Or informally, "I'm really looking forward to the weekend."
Let's create a small dialogue planning something. Are you looking forward to the company trip next month?
I am absolutely looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to relaxing on the beach and looking forward to having a break from work.
Notice how Rayleigh used it as a pronoun and also the gerund forms relaxing and having. This shows perfect usage. So just in this first short section, we have covered 4 fundamental phrasal verbs for daily life. Wake up, get up, put on/take off, keep on, and look forward to. This is your basic survival kit for talking about your routine in natural English. Remember to repeat these phrases after us and try to create your own sentences using them today.
That was a fantastic deep dive into morning routines, Rayleigh. Those verbs are the foundation for talking about your daily life. Now that we've gotten ourselves ready and out the door, it's time to move to Chapter 2, Phrasal Verbs for Social Interactions. These are critical for anyone hoping to make friends, network, or simply understand casual conversation among native speakers.
This section is really about navigating relationships, the good and the complicated ones. Let's start with one that everyone needs to master. Get along with. This means to have a friendly relationship with someone. It's an inseparable phrasal verb and almost always requires the preposition with when you specify the person.
It's the perfect way to summarize a relationship quickly. You don't need a long sentence, you just need that phrase. For example, my brother and I don't always agree on politics, but generally we get along very well. Or, she is easygoing, so she gets along with everyone at the office.
Pay attention to the structure here. If we use the object, the structure is get along with plus person. If we don't use the object, it's just get along. Let's listen to a brief exchange.
How is your new flatmate? Do you two get along?
Yes, amazingly well. We get along with each other much better than I anticipated. We share cooking duties and never argue about cleaning.
That's great news. Finding someone you get along with can be challenging.
It definitely can. Now, let's move to a super common informal verb used when talking about leisure time with friends. Hang out. This simply means to spend time together socially and informally, often without a specific plan. It's the casual way of saying socialize.
If you hear teenagers or young adults talking, you will hear this constantly. You wouldn't usually use it in a formal business meeting, but for weekend plans, it's ideal. We often hang out at the coffee shop downtown on Sundays.
Or you can ask someone, "What are you hanging out for tonight?" Meaning, what are your plans for casual social time? Let's put it in a dialogue planning a relaxed evening.
Hey, Charlie, are you busy this Friday evening? Do you want to hang out?
I'd love to. Where should we hang out? We could hang out at your place and watch a movie, or maybe go to the park.
Let's hang out at your place. I'm too tired to go out. We can order pizza.
Sounds perfect. Notice how easily hang out replaces more formal terms like meet up or spend time together in that context. Moving on to conversation skills, which are essential for B2 learners. We have bring up. This is a separable phrasal verb that means to introduce a subject or topic into a discussion. It's very useful for meetings, debates, or sensitive conversations.
This is one of the most sophisticated phrasal verbs on our list today, often replacing the more formal verb mention or introduce a topic. For example, I didn't want to bring up the issue of the missing keys during the party, so I waited until the next day.
And remember the separability rule. If the object is short, especially a pronoun like it must go in the middle. She promised she wouldn't bring it up again. You can also use it with a full noun phrase. He brought up the subject of salary negotiation.
Let's practice using bring up when talking about an important discussion.
Did you talk to your boss about your vacation time yet?
Not yet. It was such a busy meeting, I didn't get a chance to bring it up. I'll try to bring up the subject during our one-on-one next week.
Good plan. It's better to find a quiet time to bring up important things like that.
Absolutely. Now, sometimes social plans don't work out, and that leads us to call off. This is a very common separable phrasal verb, meaning to cancel something, usually an event or a meeting.
This is significantly more common in spoken English than the formal verb cancel. They had to call off the wedding due to the extreme weather. Or we might have to call off the picnic if it rains.
Let's reinforce the separability rule again using pronouns. If the object is the party, you can say, they called off the party, or they called the party off. If the object is it, you must say, they called it off.
Here is a quick dialogue about a sudden change in plans.
Did you hear the management has called off the mandatory training session scheduled for Friday?
Really? I'm so relieved. I was not looking forward to it. Why did they call it off?
Apparently, the main speaker got sick. They said they would reschedule it soon.
Well, thank goodness they called off the whole thing instead of just delaying it slightly.
Finally, in the social sphere, we often need to talk about meeting someone unexpectedly. For this, we use the inseparable phrasal verb run into. This means to meet someone by chance, often in an unplanned location.
This verb carries a sense of surprise. You wouldn't use run into if you arranged to meet a friend at a cafe. You use it when the meeting is accidental. I was at the supermarket yesterday, and I ran into my old high school teacher.
Let's imagine we are talking about weekend errands.
How was your shopping trip yesterday?
It was nice, but it took longer than I expected because I ran into Sarah and Michael near the bakery. We ended up chatting for 20 minutes.
That always happens when you run into people you know in the middle of a busy day.
It does. So, just to recap this crucial section on social interaction, we covered 5 essential phrasal verbs. Get along with for relationships, hang out for informal socializing, bring up for introducing topics, call off for canceling, and run into for chance encounters. Mastering these gives you a huge advantage in B2 level fluency, allowing you to participate naturally in almost any informal social setting. Now, let's move to our final, highly practical chapter, phrasal verbs for work and study.
Welcome to Chapter 3, Phrasal Verbs for Work and Study. These are the phrases you need for professional emails, team meetings, academic discussions, and describing your progress in language learning, which is something all our listeners are doing right now.
Absolutely. We've chosen 4 verbs here that are absolutely central to describing professional action and progress. Let's start with a crucial one for research and information gathering. Look up. This is a separable phrasal verb, meaning to search for information, usually in a dictionary, on the internet, or in a reference book.
This is fundamental for language learners. When you encounter a new word, what do? You look it up. Notice the structure. I need to look up the definition of ambiguous. Or, using a pronoun, the new terminology is difficult, so I need to look it up later.
We often use this when we can't remember a piece of data or a fact. For instance, in a meeting, I don't remember the exact sales figures for Q3. Can someone please look them up before the presentation?
I'd be happy to. I'll look up the address now and send it to you immediately.
Thanks. Make sure you look up their contact number as well, just in case.
Perfect. Next, let's discuss productivity and managing tasks. We have the inseparable phrasal verb carry out. This means to perform or complete a task, experiment, or duty. It implies following instructions or a plan.
This is the ultimate action verb in a professional context. You don't just do a study, you carry out a study. You don't just do an order, you carry out an order. The team was tasked to carry out a thorough investigation into the security breach.
This is often used in conjunction with responsibilities. As a junior employee, she has to carry out all the administrative tasks assigned by her manager. It sounds much more professional than just do.
Let's use it in a study context relevant to our listeners.
The teacher asked us to carry out a short survey among our classmates about their study habits.
That sounds like a lot of work. How long will it take you to carry out all those interviews?
Hopefully only a few days. Once I've carried out the survey, I can start writing the report.
Now, sometimes things go wrong in a project, and you need to solve them. This brings us to workout. This phrasal verb has a few different meanings, like exercising, but in the context of work or study, it often means to solve a problem or calculate something.
This is usually inseparable when used to mean to solve. We spent hours trying to work out a solution to the supply chain problem. Or, I can't work out how to use this new software feature.
It can also be used for calculation. I need to work out the final cost before I submit the budget proposal.
Let's apply it to a challenging assignment.
I'm really struggling with the final math problem. I can't work out the answer.
Don't give up. We should sit down together and try to work out the steps logically. I'm sure we can work out a way to solve it.
That's encouraging. And finally, let's look at the crucial process of summarizing or reviewing information. Go over. This is an inseparable phrasal verb meaning to examine, review, or study something carefully.
Before an exam, what do you do with your notes? You go over them. Before a major presentation, what do? You go over your slides. The editor asked me to go over the entire manuscript one last time to catch any small errors.
This is a perfect replacement for the more repetitive word review or check. Let's imagine a scenario between a supervisor and an intern.
Charlie, the presentation looks good, but before you send it to the client, can you please go over the financial data again?
Certainly, I'll go over the figures one more time right now. Do you want me to go over the conclusion slide as well?
Yes, please. Once you've gone over those sections, you can send it out.
Excellent. So in this professional chapter, we introduced 4 powerful verbs for career and academic success. Look up, search for information, carry out, perform a task, work out, solve a problem, and go over.
That quick review on separability was excellent, really. It really cemented the key grammatical rule our B2 listeners need to remember. Now, before we conclude this episode, we want to dedicate a final, substantial segment to 2 of the most commonly used, yet complicated, root verbs when forming phrasal verbs, get and take. These 2 verbs combine with so many particles that they deserve their own focused attention.
That's right. The verbs get and take are incredibly versatile. We're going to focus on 3 essential phrasal verbs derived from each root, which are used constantly in intermediate and advanced English. Let's start with get.
We've already covered get up, leave the bed, and get along, have a good relationship, but here are 3 more that are indispensable. Get over, get away with, and get through.
First, get over. This usually means to recover from an illness, an emotional upset, or a difficult experience. It's often used when talking about overcoming obstacles or moving past a failure. It is inseparable. It took her months to get over the loss of her favorite pet. Or, I just can't get over how expensive that flight was.
In a work context, it can relate to recovering from a difficult situation. Are you feeling better now? Did you get over that bad flu?
Yes, finally. It took me almost 2 weeks to get over it completely. I'm just trying to get over this huge pile of emails that accumulated while I was sick.
Next, we have a very nuanced and interesting phrasal verb, get away with. This means to manage to do something bad, wrong, or illegal without being punished or discovered. It implies escaping consequences.
This is often used in conversations about rules, justice, or naughty behavior. If someone speeds and doesn't get a ticket, they got away with speeding. The student tried to cheat on the exam, but the teacher noticed. He did not get away with it.
It's a very common structure, using it as the pronoun for the act itself. Let's hear an exchange about a small transgression.
Did you really sneak out of the lecture early yesterday? I hope Professor Davies didn't see you.
I did. I was really tired. I think I got away with it because the lecture hall was so crowded. Nobody noticed I left early.
Be careful. You won't always get away with bending the rules like that.
Our final get verb is get through. This has two major meanings we need to know. The first is to successfully pass or endure a difficult period. The second, and also very common, is to successfully make contact with someone, usually by phone.
Let's focus on the endure meaning first, as it's highly applicable to study. I found the final chapter very dull, but I managed to get through it. It means you finished it despite the difficulty.
The contact meaning is also vital for professional communication. I've been trying to call the customer service line for an hour, but I can't get through to a representative.
Let's practice both meanings in one short conversation.
I've been trying to call the delivery company all morning, but I can't get through to anyone. I need to know when my package will arrive.
That's frustrating. Just try to get through the rest of the workday, and maybe you can call them again tomorrow morning.
Now let's shift our focus to the second root verb, take. Just like get, take combines with particles to create powerful new meanings. We'll cover take off, take over, and take up.
We already mentioned take off, remove clothing, but it has another extremely common meaning. When a plane leaves the ground, or when a business or project becomes suddenly successful. The plane is scheduled to take off in 20 minutes. Or the new product really took off last spring.
Focusing on the professional success meaning, it's about sudden growth. After they hired a new marketing director, the company's sales suddenly took off. This is a great way to describe successful ventures.
Next, take over. This is a separable phrasal verb meaning to assume control or responsibility for something from someone else. This is extremely high frequency in business and politics.
When the old manager retired, the assistant manager took over the department. Or if the object is the department, he took the department over.
Let's look at a scenario where responsibilities are shifting. Since you're better with numbers, can you take over the financial planning for this quarter?
I'd be happy to. I'll officially take it over starting next Monday. You can focus on the marketing presentation then.
That arrangement works perfectly. Thank you for taking over that challenging task.
And finally, take up. This is a separable phrasal verb with two core meanings we need to know. One, to start a new hobby or activity. Two, to occupy space or time.
The hobby meaning is very common. I decided to take up yoga to help with stress. Or many people take up English later in life to improve their career prospects.
The occupy meaning is also crucial. That large new sofa will take up too much space in our small living room.
Let's focus on the hobby aspect.
You've been sounding great on the guitar lately. When did you take up playing?
I took it up about a year ago, actually, after watching a friend play. It definitely takes up a lot of my free evenings, but I love it.
Excellent. So that final segment has given our listeners 6 more crucial phrasal verbs, bringing our total to 18 high-impact verbs perfect for B2 fluency derived from the core verbs get and take. We covered get over, get away with, get through, take off, take over, and take up. This gives you an incredibly powerful arsenal for speaking natural English. We hope this comprehensive breakdown has helped demystify some of the complexity of these essential phrases.
That brings us to the end of our incredibly packed episode on phrasal verbs. Charlie, this was a marathon session, but I think we've given our listeners the most practical, high-frequency verbs they need to truly break through to B2 level fluency.
I agree, Rayleigh. We tackled 18 essential phrasal verbs organized into 4 key areas: daily routines, social interactions, work and study, and the complex verbs derived from get and take. The key takeaway for everyone today isn't just memorizing the list, but understanding the context and, critically, the separability rule.
Let's summarize that one last time, because it's the linguistic marker that truly sets advanced learners apart. When a separable phrasal verb takes a short pronoun object, like it or them, that pronoun must go in the middle. Think, I will look it up, not I will look up it. Practice this rule actively this week.
Absolutely. We've shown you how to use these verbs in natural conversation, from getting up in the morning and putting on your clothes to running into an old friend and successfully carrying out a project at work. These verbs are the bridge between formal textbook English and the dynamic, casual English spoken every day.
And remember, language learning is about consistency. Don't try to take up all 18 verbs at once. Focus on incorporating 1 or 2 new phrasal verbs into your speaking every day. Perhaps tomorrow, try to use look forward to and hang out in conversations with friends or language partners.
We have prepared a comprehensive downloadable resource for this episode, which includes all the phrasal verbs we discussed, their definitions, example sentences, and a special quiz focused entirely on separability. You can find that link in the episode description below. We strongly encourage you to go over this material carefully.
Using these resources and consistently listening to authentic English will help you get through the trickier phases of vocabulary acquisition. Remember, if you hit a wall, just keep on trying. Progress isn't linear, but persistence is key.
Thank you so much for tuning into Speechalingo today. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please subscribe to our podcast and leave us a review. It helps other learners find us and helps us keep carrying out these lessons for you.
Join us next time when we will be bringing up the complex world of English idioms, another layer of fluency that will elevate your B2 skills even further.
Until then, practice your phrasal verbs, keep speaking, and keep enjoying the journey to fluency. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. We'll catch you next week on Speechalingo.